Welcome to This Week in Crowder College, an in-depth look into how Crowder College students, faculty, and staff are working together so students soar to new heights, communities are impacted, and lives are changed. This Week in Crowder College is sponsored by the law offices of Wood and Peterson in Neosho, specializing in workers' compensation, personal injury, Social Security disability, and more. Learn more online at neoshoattorney.com. Now here's this week's edition of This Week in Crowder College.
Hello again, Four States. This is Luke Taylor. Welcome to another edition of This Week in Crowder College. We're going to be speaking today with Cindy Brown. She is the Director of Public Information out there for the college. And Cindy, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so what's going to be coming up here pretty soon that I think a lot of people in the community should know about?
So we have our Annie Smith, our Director of Crowder College Theater, in our black box theater, so it will be smaller, so just off to the side of the auditorium. We will have student showcases, which is actually an evening of monologues and scenes that will be done by our students. So I think there's like 18 different ones. Students will have, they will act it out or have other people in it. They may have written them. They'll direct them. Some of it will be students who are on scholarship, while others will be students that are in class. So there's a whole lot of just acting, excitement, and that kind of stuff going on. It will actually be held November 21st and 22nd, 7 p.m. nightly, like I said, in the Black Box Theater at Crowder College.
Okay, and is it the same show both nights, or are they doing half of those on one night and half the other?
No, same one both nights, so they should all be doing their stuff both nights. So you can come and just get a little taste of what our students are doing, what wonderful students we have in our theater program. And like I said, some are theater majors, some may not be, some will be scholarship recipients, but they'll all be working hard to make it an enjoyable evening.
I always remember my theater class at Crowder is Professor J.P. Dickey, and that was one of my favorite classes I took in the whole time in my years at Crowder because he made it a lot of fun, and I didn't realize how much there was that has to go on behind the scenes just to get to that opening night.
That's exactly right, and we'll have tech. The tech stuff will be run by theater students and theater scholarship recipients. So they'll be not only doing the on-stage performances, but the behind-the-scenes. And you're exactly right. There are a lot of things that go on that you don't even see to make things, or to make those productions just top-notch.
Yeah, and they do bring it all together. And I think an event like this, it really is going to help showcase that for people, that they'll get to see, even on a very individual level, but what someone brings to the table and preparing for these short scenes that they're going to act out. So is this the 22nd and 23rd? Is that what you said?
21st and 22nd.
Okay, here in November.
So it'll be,
all right.
Yes.
Well, we encourage people to find out more about that. Is there a website for the theater department, or do they go through the crowder.edu?
Yeah, they can go crowder.edu and just look up theater and see the different things. We'll also have a production coming up in December. It's called Good Night, Mother, and it actually is one that deals with suicide. So they're partnering with our student affairs office and, trying to make people aware. There will be a panel, actually, after one of the after the production, talking about the triggering things, the warning signs, and just to talk about suicide prevention and different things. So that's December 6th through 8th, which kind of makes me sad. That's kind of a tough one before the holiday seasons, but it's also has a lot of value to it with our students. So that will wrap up this fall semester. Then in the spring, we have, before spring break, we'll have Ordinary Days, which is March 7th through 9th. The student showcase for spring will be just like this one in the fall, except obviously different performances. That's April 24 and 25. And then in the summer, we have the BFG, which is the Big Friendly Giant.
Yep.
And it's June 13 through 15. So that's all can be found on our website, or you can go to Facebook and go at Crowder College Theater and see those as well.
Back in the summer, I took my young son to I can't remember the whole name now, but it was something about bedtime stories my dad would tell me, and it was a great children's production.
Yes.
He just had such a fun time. He felt like he was watching a movie, but he could see everything right there on the stage in front of him, and He just
Right.
he just had a blast. He hadn't done something like that before. So I really encourage people, especially if you got family, grandkids, whatever, pay attention to what's on the Crowder Theater schedule, because, every year there's going to be something that comes around that'd be fun to take the kids to.
Oh, absolutely. And, when my son, many years ago, when one of my sons was little, we would go to some of them, and the actors would sometimes be in the audience interacting. Like one would be a mailman handing out stuff, or you'd have a reporter walking through the audience, or different things. Or we had Charlotte's Web one summer, where Charlotte's Web was actually up in the corner of the theater.
Wow.
So Charlotte would come down through the audience to be on stage. And while movies are great and they have their place, there's something about being at a real, true live performance that just makes it so much more enjoyable. And I know Annie Smith and all of her students, not just the actors, but the stage crew, those tech crew behind the scenes, they all work hard to make these productions very entertaining, very enjoyable. So I'd encourage anyone, we're very inexpensively priced, to come out and just enjoy the show.
Yep, and we do encourage that. So keep up to date with the Crowder Theater Department. And we've been speaking today with Cindy Brown. She's the Director of Public Information out there. Hey, Cindy, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to This Week in Crowder College. This Week in Crowder College is sponsored by the law offices of Wood and Peterson in Neosho. You can listen to this broadcast again by going online to kneo.org or to crowder.edu. Tune in once again next week for another edition of This Week in Crowder College on KNEO 91.7 FM.
If you live within the broadcast area of KNEO Radio, we have a podcast just for you. The KNEO Community Connection keeps your finger on the pulse of what's coming up in the four-state area, telling you about upcoming events you don't want to miss, organizations in our communities doing great work, and conversations with the dynamic citizens who are behind it all. There's a lot going on around you that you don't want to miss. This is Luke Taylor. Join me each week as we talk about what's happening with the people who are making it happen. Brought to you by KNEO Radio 91.7 FM and the Sky High Podcast Network. Subscribe today wherever you get your podcasts.